It's Thursday morning, and as the country joins the Ashanti Kingdom to mourn the loss of their Queen Mother, who was the matriarch of the kingdom, there's still some other very controversial issues going around. Well, the highly anticipated courtroom battle between Martin Amidu and Alfred Agbeshi-Woyome is underway in a tense and fully packed courtroom right now as well. And meanwhile, America is also celebrating Thanksgiving. So if you have any messages to send with your friends and family in America, you can do so right now. Plus a couple of questions that still need answering. Firstly, if the president was to call you on phone right now, what would you tell him sincerely? Or if you had the chance to ask the president any question, what would you ask? Good morning and welcome to Joy News Interactive. Now on this program, it's your comments and views which drive the entire show. Now you can get in touch with us on WhatsApp 0560-800,000, and as you can see on screen on Facebook and Twitter, we're at Joy News on TV and at JN Interactive GH. My name is Jennifer Kwamwa. On our JNI poll this morning, we're asking, when some issues crop up, they tend to take a lot of time and space in mainstream media as well as social media. There's a lot of furor, a lot of uproar, demonstrations, and the rest. But after a period, then they tend to die down, which has led some people to question whether Ghanaians have short memories or not. So this morning, we're asking you, are Ghanaians not persistent when it comes to following through on issues, especially or particularly those pertaining on corruption? Vote yes or no on our Facebook page right now. But let's get started. We have 12 days until the general elections. And there's still a couple of questions that need to be asked. I saw a very interesting article on Francis Doku's Facebook page. I'll be bringing you that a little bit shortly. But first, this morning we're asking you, if His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama took some time off his campaign tour to call you and speak to you, what would you ask him? Let's find out from the streets of Accra first.
Why are you calling me?
Nothing about the state bothers you?
No, it bothers me, but I would have a lot of questions if I should come to that. So why are you calling me should be my first question. And then, would you make the 7th of December a holiday?
I've been following the Woyome case for some time now, and I think I'd want to find out from him, more issues about Woyome.
What one question will you ask him?
Why he hasn't been involved in the case since it started. Yeah.
Okay, well, what is he going to do to improve the economy?
What will do for Ghana for us to not encounter any difficulties? What is his plan for Ghana? A lot of politicians said, okay, when I come, I'll do this, I'll do this. But when they come, their promises, they fail their promises. So for me, that is what I'll ask him.
So those were a couple of your comments. If the president was to call you right now and ask you, what would you tell him in all sincerity? What's the first thing you'll say? You'll say, hi, good morning, sir. Good evening, sir. What are you doing on my phone? Let's find out what you're saying about this on Facebook. And there he is, His Excellency, live and in Technicolor Tete, asking him, Mr. President, we need a new direction. That'll be the first thing that you say. Apia Minka says, I will tell him to fix our economy first and do what he can to reduce our electricity bills, because now in this country, production cost is too much and electricity bills are killing weak industries. Jai Ho says, I will nicely ask him to leave office. Charles says, I will tell him he's the Messiah Ghana was looking for, and nobody ever thought Ghana would develop like this. Wise Kofi says, I know who to vote for, because the oil money alone, over $4 billion, can pay for all the projects that he has undertaken in or during his time. Now, Francis also asking, well, you also tell him that it's a done deal for him. He's winning but some of his members of parliament won't make it to parliament this year. Speaking of parliamentarians, we have one for them shortly. Praise, Papa says, I will congratulate him on maintaining his composure all throughout these 4 years. Ganiwa Hassan, you say, Mr. President, I know you have been castigated, dejected, accused, and disregarded, but you should keep cool and remain resolute and work even harder. How do you manage that? So that's Ganiwa's question. Semenyo says, I will tell him to strengthen state institutions to enable them work to their optimum level. King Julian, I will tell him he should consider the suffering people are going through due to unemployment first before infrastructure. Desmond Newman says, oh my goodness, I will simply tell him to stop exhausting taxpayers' money. Abdel Razak, he should watch his words. He's encouraging enthusiasm, and that is dangerous. Philip Nate says, I will tell him to pay me my salary arrears because I worked for it. And Godwin says, well, won't you ask him of his reason for calling your phone first? Maybe he wants to buy my vote. Ah, who knows? Nana Matthew, I'll tell him he can't rule the country. George, I will sincerely tell him to continue with his good work. Kwesi says, I will beg him to retrieve our monies back because health insurance doesn't cover the drugs. George Apong will say, I'm tired of the corruption deals. Ora Kofi, Your Excellency, would you have voted for the MPP if you were in your position? Now that is an intriguing question. Ziblim Abdul Rashid, I'll tell him to step aside. David Fifi will say, oh, JM, you are welcome to my line. And the people, they complain too much, but we've still got your back. So many messages coming in. If President JM was to call you right now, what would you tell him? Kevin's Cobby says, God is watching him. Issa Aladu says, should you start telling him what you want, or you should wait for him before he calls you? Or Hiniba says, I'll tell him to pack his bags. And Edward Pebby says, why should I give you my vote? That's the first thing you ask him if he should call your line right now. And on WhatsApp as well, a couple of messages coming in says, first of all, I would thank him for the good work that he's done over the past 4 years. And I would also thank him for demystifying the seat of the presidency, and then move on to ask how he would react to a defeat in the upcoming elections. That's from Yakubu Ibn Chambas at Wale Wale. Elvis from Akosombo asking, so if he got the chance to speak to current President JM, he'd also ask, how is the campaign going? And another one here saying, well, it seems that, Steve-O, you'll also ask a very simple question, and you'll say, are you sure that Ghanaians still have very short memories? Now, we also posted on Facebook earlier that if you had any question that you'd want to ask the president, what would you ask him? And here is what you had to ask. Abdul Razak starting says, I would ask, what exactly is he going to do to retrieve the 51.2 million cedis paid to Alfred Agbishi Woyome before leaving the Flagstaff House? Now, that case is in court right now with Martin Amidu examining Mr. Woyome as we speak. Now, Richard also saying, I'll ask him whether building infrastructure and roads is an exercise in mediocrity, and why didn't he introduce the one-time health insurance policy. Evans Walker, you'll ask, so what caused Prof. Mill's death? Eric Abusa, I'll ask, if he's given the second chance, what are his mistakes in the previous administration that he would correct to the betterment of the country? Nana Kwame says, I'll ask why his party has always been defending the EC. Samuel Boache, you would also ask him, according to the latest statement, what did he mean by implying that the MPP uses Northerners and dumps them? Yes, Kwesi Ajiman, you'll also ask the president, what would you do? Why did you decide to secure a second term while you know for a fact that people are still feeling very embittered right now? Yendi Zuma says, Mr. President, you have borrowed so much but have little to show for it. Bungel James, You'll also ask what is the confusion about the scrapping of the nursing trainee allowance. And Wani MKG also continues, I'll ask him to rule Ghana forever if he can, because we love his good works so much. So many different questions pouring in. If you had the chance to ask your president any question, what would you ask? William also, I'll ask him, why he said if paying the teachers and nurses allowance will make him lose the elections, he's ready to lose. But less than 2 weeks to election, he's paying them on a tabletop. Jahil Kojo also saying, I'll thank him for the good work he has done for the country, but ask why his economic team has messed up the economy. And I know Obi also saying, Ghana, we should not make the mistake that Nigeria made. Okay, well noted. Ibrahim says, well, President Mahama, are you happy with the hardship Ghanaians are going through? So all these questions coming in on Facebook and on WhatsApp. You can send them in on 0560800000 and on Facebook and Twitter. That's Joy News on TV. Now, speaking of the elections, we have them coming up in 12 days. In 12 days. Less than 2 weeks, Ghana goes to the polls. Now, before we choose our next president, before we either reinstate the old one, swear in a new one, we say goodbye to some of our parliamentarians and welcome in some new parliamentarians, there's still some questions that need to be answered. And that's what I read on Francis Doku's Facebook page this morning. At least 10 questions that need to be answered still that we haven't gotten the answers to. Questions like, well, who killed Nancy? Do you know? Have we figured it out? And will Dr. Pakwesi Indum shave his mustache before the elections? Have we ever wondered that one too? And the big one that we've all been wondering for over the past couple of years since that statement was released. Who said Chia? Let's read the post right now. It's on Facebook, and this is what Mr. Doku wrote. Says exactly 2 weeks from today, and exactly at this time on that day, Ghanaians all over the country will line up to vote for their MP and choose a president. Exactly 1 month from that day, there'll be a new parliament. Some old faces will go, but there'll be new faces too, and there'll either be a new person swearing to the people of Ghana through Chief Justice Georgina Wood, and or the same person swearing again to be president for another 4 years. But before all these happen, there are many outstanding issues that we still have not had answers to, and reasons we need to bring Inspector Bedi Akun from retirement to solve. And of the many outstanding issues, 10 are below for him to solve. Number 1, who actually said Chia? 2, who killed Nancy? 3, who actually took President Mahama's papers at the ECOWAS summit? Number 4, why does the EC keep disqualifying Mr. Ayariga Akpalu and Ekuya Donko? 5, will Dr. Pakwesi Indum shave his mustache before election day? 6, who will Chairman Rawlings vote for, NDC or NDP? 7, who will Chairman Afoko vote for, NDC or NPP? 8, why did Sonny Achiba stop singing, and what happened to his hip dear genre? Number 9, find just one person who was at the stadium when India beat Ghana 100-1. And number 10, will the CPP get more than 1% this time? So that is what Francis posted earlier today. Intriguing questions that need answers to. And we went to ask you on the streets of Accra, what do you think about this?
Do you know who said Chia?
No, I don't.
Why don't you know?
Well, I see him on WhatsApp platforms, and I know his picture, but I really haven't bothered to find out his name. I learned he was a DC or something. Yeah.
Who said Chia? Chia, please no.
Do you want to know who said Chia?
Yes, please.
Why do you want to know?
Because it's something that I've heard people talk about in town. Yeah.
No.
Why don't you know?
Because I never bothered to find out. Because even the man who asked, they didn't know who said it.
Why do you want to know?
No, I don't want to know.
Chia.
Yes.
No, I cannot know who said Chia.
You don't know who said Chia?
No.
But do you want to know who said Chia?
Yeah, I want to know.
Well, why do you want to know?
Because you asked me, did I know who said Chia? And I want to know who said Chia because I don't know who said Chia.
Not really.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Why do you want to know?
Well, because it's interesting.
So do you want to know or don't you? Let us know on 0560-800,000 and on Facebook, that's Joy News on TV. But we're also asking people, do you think Dr. Papa Kwesi Indom should shave his mustache before the elections? And this is what you had to say.
No, it's who he is, so I don't think he should shave it.
That's a personal thing. So if he wants to, fine. If he doesn't want to, that's okay.
But do you want him to shave his mustache?
No, I've really not thought about it. I'm not really interested about his mustache. What we want is policies. And it's up to the electorates to vote. And then we'll see what happens on December 7th.
No, it fits him.
So you like it like that?
Yes, I like it like that.
So,
Well, it depends on everybody, his style of how you want to be. You understand what I'm saying? That is what he feels to be. So I cannot say either you should shave it or not. Yeah.
To shave or not to shave, and really, after all these years, how come we still don't know who said Chia? And shouldn't we figure it out before we swear in a new president or reinstate our old one? Let us know on Joy News Interactive. We're taking a quick break. We'll be right back. You're still watching Joy News Interactive, and we're live on the Joy News channel on Multi TV, also streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, and of course you can send in your comments via WhatsApp and on Facebook, 0560-800,000 and Joy News on TV. Just a couple of your messages coming in on some of the issues we've been looking at this morning. Firstly, if the president was to give you a call this morning, what in sincerity would you tell him? Secondly, we've been asking a couple of questions which have boggled the minds of Ghanaians over the years, finding out from you what you thought about that. And of course, we still have our J&I poll rolling this morning. Now, as you know, there have been several high-profile cases of financial impropriety. They take a lot of time and space. We talk about them intensely on mainstream and social media. But then after a period, it seems the issue vanishes, perhaps from public memory, which has led some to think that Ghanaians have short memories. This morning, we're asking you, is it that Ghanaians do not persist when it comes to following through on issues like this? Vote yes or no on our Joy News page on Facebook right now. But before that, let's read a couple of your messages. J.K. Richmond on Dr. Papa Kwesi Indom's mustache says, no, he's cool with it, so you're cool with that too. And Ibrahim says, I will not pick the president's call because I'm not sure what he will tell me. Cranting says, well, I think that's the way he wants to live his life, and shaving his mustache will not change anything. And another one says, yes, I can feel in the realm that Dr. Papa Kwesi Indom will become our next president if he shaves his mustache off, because his mustache scares voters away. Oh my goodness, that is a point of view that I don't think I've ever heard before. Now, on Who Said Chia, that's from lawyer Atuguba, and that's from Ocean, who's saying that. Really? A little bit of mischief like that? Let's read a couple of your messages here on our J&I poll this morning. We're asking, do Ghanaians persist enough when it comes to following through on issues? Nana Kwame, you're saying no. Sana Mohammed, another no. Roger, you're also saying no. Kojo Sniper, no. Classic, no. Ansar Sari, another no. No's. So the no's have overwhelmingly won this vote this morning. Thank you so much for participating in our J&I poll this morning. Very grateful for your time, your thoughts, and your efforts. Call it a throwback Thursday, but that was when the DCE had a complete and total breakdown or meltdown after somebody challenged him whilst he was speaking. And now on to our picture of the day. This has been trending on social media for quite a bit now. Oh my goodness. What will you do if your mom dressed like this to your PTA meeting? Why the laughing emoji? This, you know, in some parts of the world, this is high fashion. Look at the gilly and the beads and the red on red with the matching bag. Come on. Okay, let's take a look at the shoes as well. See, that's high fashion right there. Okay, so let's read some of your messages or your comments on that. Kofi saying, well, however people see her, she's still my mom. Kojo also saying, only a few are being honest here. Those who are saying they will welcome her with love and happiness and even introduce her to their friends will be the first to run away with no back trace. Hanny says, I'll run away from the dormitory, nowhere to be found in the classroom, and gone too soon from the campus, just to avoid disgrace. Nana, I'll be happy because upon all the moms, my mom will be different and unique. And I'll tell my friends her fashion designer is Lil Wayne, really. Abbas, I'll be happy and show her off to my friends that she's my mom and no one like her. Riri, pure love, I would be very proud to see her even in rags because I don't have such. So that's a very sad one, and sorry for your loss. I am EKG says, knowing well that my friends will laugh at me, I won't feel too good around her, but I'll welcome her and ask her the reason why she chose to dress like that, and if possible, convince her to go back home or wash that thing from her face. So you're not even adverse to her outfit, you're adverse to her makeup. Either way, thank you so much for your comments and your contributions on this morning's edition of Joy News Interactive. Do stay on the channel for more great programs. I'm Jennifer Kwamwa. Enjoy the rest of your day.